Hi, I'm Lois. I am the voice of Caregiver Speak. And I thought this time that perhaps I would come to you in a different way with the message I have for this month. School has started. I was wondering about what to talk to you about, and I came across this quote. Improving the effectiveness of a home as a learning environment is critical to promoting long-term school success. So I went back into my memories of my time as a kinship mother, grandmother of young children starting school, and I asked myself, what did I do to make that happen? And as I reread the quote, I thought of how often I had heard this message. Every year at the start of the year assembly. And when I would hear it, I was immediately taken to what was going on in my life. What was going to make me or help me get this done or get in my way. I thought about I was working, the long days of picking them up from school, to taking them to school, and being at every event that they had. And all at the same time trying to keep the house a home and still trying to maintain my life. I was living through the trauma of the events of having them in my home. Not to mention having to handle the children's reaction to being in my home and the reason for it. They were angry because they did not have their mother and father. I had to keep in mind that this hurtful behavior was not about me. It was about their mom and dad. But sometimes that's hard to keep in mind. And these emotions can get in the way. It could sap your energy. It could take your focus away from what you're about to do. In hindsight, it meant that I was not always on top of things such as schoolwork. This is what they tell us to do. I asked myself, what do they mean? I must begin by providing them with a space to study, making sure they have the reference books and the supplies needed to study. It meant for me to stay aware of my child's educational abilities and where they were and what they would need in order to feel accomplished, to feel that they could, being confident they could achieve. The other part that I must provide was the encouragement, plus a no-nonsense attitude about their performance. We set the expectations high, not worry because if you're keeping up with your child's challenges and progress, you're asking the needed questions and the expectations will be balanced. As we remember to give praise, we must remember to give praise for the expectations met, those showing effort which give the appearance of achievement. We will insist that they do their best, meaning not to let them settle just for getting by. Help them see what they can do better and be firm about the results and the follow-through of the plan they, along with you, created to get the assignment done. Along with expecting them to put forth the effort, the time is taken to explain the consequences, those that are educational and those that are personal. By applauding their success, we will give them the belief in our support. They will know I got your back. And better hear us when we say, stick with it. When you come face to face with opposition or the emotion that comes with recognition of an inability to perform. This, they say, will support your child's success. They say, being will, it takes a great deal of sense. It does make sense, but how to do it within the unique circumstances of my home, my lifestyle, and my child's life. I look back to see what I did. First thing I did was I stayed involved. I met the teachers and the administration of every school they were in. I discussed with them their progress and the ways I could help at home. I wasn't always able to follow through, but I did know and could support them in the ways that I could. Second thing was I questioned This, in hindsight, I wish I had done better. Do not accept when asked, how was school? And they say, good. This is what they call a closed question, meaning you can only get one answer, one word answer. You need to ask questions to get specific information, questions which will have them thinking of an answer. Also, question the teacher to know what she is teaching, what methods she is using, and why. What outcome she or he wants my child to take with them to the next grade. This will be a perfect conversation at teacher conferences. 3, I found out how to set up a study area with the materials they would need. I set a time in which to study and a rule. All activities will have to wait until the studying was done. Number 4, I learned what it takes to create good study habits. Let me share what I learned. Show them how to stay organized. Use an academic planner. Even in the kindergarten, use a calendar to teach them how to plan and the importance of planning ahead. This will help them learn to keep up with their assignments, tests, and extracurricular activities. Then know the teacher's expectations. They should, meaning the children, and you too, know what the teacher expects and what they will be graded on. This will guide them through the semester, support them in their efforts to speak freely with the teacher, and be ready if need be to step up. Know what they're studying in school. Go over their assignments. Let them tell you about them. Ask if it is hard or easy for them. Ask, what did they learn that they didn't know? Ask, what are you going to do to learn more about the subject? Give them encouragement to investigate other sources for information by asking specific questions. Questions they cannot answer completely without going beyond the assignment. Next, have a designated study area. Provide a quiet, well-lit, low-traffic space for study time. Again, give the requirements such as no TV, no cell phones, allow until studying is done, and be consistent. Having a study plan. The goal is to know when a test will take place, the types of questions which may be asked, and the topics the test will cover. A study plan will allow the student to know how much time he has and how he will use it. Setting goals for each study session will allow and encourage the student to assign topics and tasks each day leading up to the exam, giving them the experience in time management and organizational skills, and most importantly, it will be a practice in self-management. Practice active listening. Share with your child the importance of and some ways to pay attention to the teacher. Help them find ways to avoid being distracted while the teacher is talking. And don't be so ready to solve their problems. Sometimes we jump to ease the hurt the child is feeling, which means we don't always listen to the whole story. And we fail to get all the information needed to support them. Again, slow down and ask questions. The goal is, as you get them to tell you what happened, they will come up with the solution themselves. Practice in problem-solving skills. Review test-taking strategies. It will be normal for your child to feel stress when taking an exam. Remember how you felt. So it is important to help them manage the stress in order to do their best. Make sure they get enough sleep the night before. Help them practice relaxing and find ways to pace themselves through the exam so as not to feel rushed. Let them know it is okay to skip around the tests, answering what they know and going back to what they feel they don't. Read actively. Read together. Help them practice understanding what they know about the story by letting them tell you the story of what they read. Help them look up unfamiliar words or concepts. Help them to summarize what they are learning and have learned on their own. Above all, make reading fun. Let them see you reading for fun. I bought books for them. I had a bookshelf in their room, and perhaps as I did, you can set a 30-minute reading time before bedtime, a time to read for fun. They could read anything they wanted. What I wish I had done more of was to discuss what they read with them. Then look to the future. Discuss and plan for their educational goals, adjusting them as time and interests move on. It is important to have a plan because you never know what you might encounter, and you will be prepared. Most important, do it with them in the beginning. Doing it together will show where they need help and where they got it. It'll also give them the feeling of support and that they're not all out there by themselves. And finally, just for a side thought, I stopped calling it homework. I changed it to studying. I did this because I wanted them to go beyond just doing homework. Studying to me means to pick up another book to learn more, to question what you are learning and seeking answers for yourself. It seems to me the word homework is limiting and has begun to be, from their reluctance, something of a chore to them. I wanted them not to dread the classwork, but be excited about what they were learning and to be curious to know more. I was also mindful to provide the reference material they may need. I guess what I'm saying, we do find ways to make it happen to the best of our abilities. Even as kinship parents, we do find our ways. And it's most important to recognize that. To recognize what is hindering us from feeling and knowing we're on top of it. Because most of the time, if we check it out, we are. Thank you.